This is for Aquarius and Scorpio. Welcome to an Aquarius experience. I will be doing a connection spread. One card for the Aquarius, one for their challenge. One card for the Scorpio, and one for their challenge. And a uniting force card. This could be friend, family, love interest, or work. I will go ahead and also be pulling clarification cards if I feel they are needed, and some advice if I feel it is needed. Aquarius and Scorpio, this will be for the highest good of the relationship. Aquarius, there's a walking away energy. You are taking your losses and moving on. And this is something that you have decided pretty recently, and you don't know what's to come next. However, you are willing to climb that mountain and see what's on the other side. In your challenge, you're finding it hard to concentrate at work. You're finding it hard to be patient with some sort of income coming in. And it seems as though if the stability or income that's coming in were to come sooner, you would feel it would help with this transition that you're going through currently. For the Scorpio, the Empress, this is a beautiful energy to be in. This is tuning into yourself, your higher self, and using your intuitive powers, whatever that may be, to just kind of remain stable. And you're finding it pretty easy to do so at the moment. In your challenge, there's something that you have not yet decided, or there's something that you haven't seen or reached some sort of clarity in, but you're doing your best to use your intuition on this, and it hasn't yet presented itself, this clarification, and that's what you're finding hard. In your uniting force for the two of you is this 10 of Cups. So this very well could be a love interest and a relationship between the Aquarius and the Scorpio. However, it doesn't necessarily have to be, but it is some kind of emotional fulfilling relationship, and both of you share this. Advice for the Aquarius with regard to whatever it is that you're going through. Looks like some sort of walking away. However, it's affecting your financial stability. And if it's not financial, it's some sort of stability in the home or in the environment. It's almost as if you can't see the progress you're making. Any advice for the Aquarius? I'll go ahead and share that. The advice is to continue to just do your best with the balance. And it's Pentacles, so definitely stability in finances, especially since you already have another Pentacles coming through as your challenge with the Seven of Pentacles and the Two of Pentacles. You're pretty much staying busy. You're staying busy, balancing and juggling maybe 2 jobs even. Whatever it is definitely keeping you busy and keeping you distracted from this walking away energy. However, you have walked away. You have made, or at least you've made that decision to walk away. And I feel like you are trying your best to put your energy into work. However, there is some kind of instability in work. So it could be that you are looking for another job, or you are in between jobs, or it could even be that you are holding 2 jobs just to kind of keep afloat. So the advice is to just keep doing what you're doing. Keep juggling those 2 jobs, juggling those 2 options and stability until the next chapter presents itself. And I don't see any new beginnings, so it looks like you are just kind of in this limbo state where you have walked away, but now you don't know what where to go next. Excuse me. For the Scorpio, any advice as far as finding it challenging to find some clarity? Something worth fighting for. You haven't found it, or you haven't figured out how to fight for this. If you have in fact decided what it is that you are embarking on, you have yet to figure out how to go about it. How to present this clarity, this direction. Any advice for the Scorpio? The Five of Pentacles as an advice card is a lot like what the Eight of Cups represents. Is in this state. It speaks to me saying to kind of just take the loss and to kind of walk away. And if it's not a walking away, maybe it's just taking the loss and choosing your battles. Maybe this one isn't worth fighting for, whatever this situation is. I'm really not sure that it is a walking away from the Aquarius, but it's definitely just kind of taking the loss. Just accepting the defeat, maybe. You are quite remorseful and maybe even feeling guilty. And since you're in the Empress energy, you're very well capable of taking this on. That maybe self-reflection and just kind of owning up to whatever it was that went on. If it involves something to do with this Aquarius, I want to say that it has something to do with finances. More clarification on this on this Five of Pentacles. We have a reverse Nine of Swords. Don't be afraid to advocate for yourself. And just because you are taking this loss does not mean that you cannot express yourself on how it makes you feel. And in doing so, you will plant a seed for some change. Some change within yourself. Maybe seeing yourself in seeing yourself differently, respecting yourself in ways that maybe you hadn't before. If you went ahead and just advocated for yourself, and that doesn't mean to fight for what is right, but it's more of like pointing out and explaining the logic of what it was that happened. And once you do that, once you get rid of that blockage on speaking about your feelings, it'll rid you from whatever mental anxiety that you're currently experiencing. And also in doing so, it'll plant a seed so that this situation will not occur again. Because if you don't advocate for yourself and you don't kind of just present what it is that your expectations are moving forward, then this seed won't be planted. So moving forward, if this is a relationship with the Aquarius, the only way to prevent something from reoccurring again, so that way you don't feel this loss and this being left outside in the cold is to let it be known. Let it be known how it felt to have had something happen like this. And it's some sort of preventative measure, so to ensure that it won't happen again. What's to be expected in the immediate future between the Aquarius and the Scorpio? What is to be expected in the immediate future for this relationship? What I want to say, and this doesn't have to be the case, but I want to say is that the Scorpio may have lent the Aquarius some money, and the Aquarius, for whatever reason, is just incapable of repaying that at the moment, and it looks like it's due to some kind of job security. And the Scorpio, in their Empress energy, intuitively knows that this is something that needs to be discussed. And again, it's not so much that the Scorpio is hunting this Aquarius down for repayment. It's just a matter of speaking about the wrong that it was, how wrong it was. Because as of right now, it seems like it hasn't been talked about, and the Aquarius kind of just wants to move away from the situation without discussing it. And the Empress knows that this can't go on like that, especially if it's a relationship between family members. It will happen again. I don't see that it's happening again, but it may happen again. And it could have even happened in the past. And that's why the the Scorpio in their Empress state knows that it needs to be addressed this time. It can't happen again. And maybe it will happen again, but they have to hear it. The Aquarius needs to hear how it's hurt the Scorpio. In the immediate future, we have Temperance and the Mother of Wands. There will be some balance here in the immediate future, especially if the Scorpio does in fact speak on this matter and address the concerns, especially the concerns of it repeating again in the future. And it looks like the relationship will be protected. This is an important relationship. Again, I get family. And in order to protect the relationship and the fluidity of this relationship, the respect, this Scorpio energy must protect it. and protecting it in the way of addressing the concerns so that this is just not a situation that goes swept under the rug. Things like this cannot be swept under the rug. Aquarius. What is this walking away energy? Okay, the Son of Swords is much like the Knight of Swords, where you have been battling for some time now. This is not your first battle. This is not the first time that you've had to walk away from something. And it urges you, excuse me. The cards are reflective of the need to take some action. So continue juggling, continue working hard, even though you may feel kind of an emptiness and an incapability. Like you're feeling really like something has failed and you're at a loss. I want to say even guilt, but take action, make some changes. And that's what I have for you. If you made it this far, I hope that you've gotten something here that helps. Until next time.